Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, um, please repeat Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Okay, so we are discussing from Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 21. Set of very important prayers. Um, um, Actually, instructions, glorification, prayers, however you want to say it. But this is the conversation between Suta Goswami and um, the sages of Naimisharanya headed by Shaunaka. So Suta Goswami is saying this verse. Um, please repeat. Bhidyate hridaya granthis
विद्यते हृदयगन्धिः
chidhyante sarva samshayaha
छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः
kriyante chasya karmani
क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि
drishta evatmanishware.
दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे
Okay, so word to word translations. Vidyate pierced, hridaya heart, grantihi knots, chidyante cut to pieces, sarva all, samshayaha misgivings, um, kshiyante terminated, cha and asya his, karmani chain of fruitive actions, drishte having seen, eva certainly, atmani unto the self, ishware dominating. Translation. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master. Purport. Attaining scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead means seeing one's own self simultaneously. As far as the identity of the living being as spirit self is concerned, there are a number of speculations and misgivings. The materialist does not believe in the existence of the spirit self, and empiric philosophers believe in the impersonal feature of the whole spirit without individuality of the living beings. But the transcendentalists affirm that the soul and the supersoul are two different identities, qualitatively one but quantitatively different. There are many other theories, but these are all different speculations. But all these different speculations are at once cleared off as soon as Sri Krishna is realized in truth by the process of Bhakti Yoga. Sri Krishna is like the sun, and the materialistic speculations about the absolute truth are like the darkest midnight. As soon as the Krishna sun is arisen within one's heart, the darkness of material speculations about the absolute truth and the living beings is at once cleared off. In the presence of the sun, darkness cannot stand, and the relative truths that were hidden within the dense darkness of ignorance become clearly manifested by the mercy of Krishna, who is residing in everyone's heart as the super soul. So, just discussing this paragraph. So, thus the knot of in the heart is pierced. Why the knot of the heart is pierced? So, you look at the previous verses, right? We're speaking about the process of chanting, of practicing devotional service. See, we'll go to the word to word, we'll go to the translations. And if you see here, we are talking about regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam. That is text 18, right? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. What happens by Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya? It is said that all that is troublesome to the heart is completely destroyed and loving service unto Krishna, Bhakti Yoga, is established. So then the effects of mode of passion and ignorance are reduced and devotee is established in goodness. Then what is saying? One who is established in the mode of goodness, he becomes enlivened, he becomes happy, and he gains knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation. At that point, the knot in the heart is pierced and all misgivings are cut to pieces. And the chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as the master. See, this is a really important, just to analyze this verse. What does this mean? The knot in the heart is pierced. Why is that knot? The knot, the Hridaya Granthi it's said to be the example is it's like the Gordian knot. The Gordian knot is a knot that you cannot untie. Sometimes we have this experience. We have shika, and sometimes if you don't if you don't untie the shika properly, it will get knotted up. And you can try for some time to remove it, but if you try to pull too much, it will just get more knotted. And at that point of time, you just have to cut that hair because it's completely knotted and it's hopeless. You can try to pull it, push it, nothing will work. So when it says pierce, this is not piercing like a nail, it actually means cut. Bidyate hridaya grantihi. Bidyate means to cut. And so all misgivings are cut to pieces. So this knot in the heart is cut, and that's the only way to deal with a knot that you cannot untie. And why is that? Because this knot that we have within the heart, why does this need to be tied? So this actually goes in line with a verse in Bhagavad Gita. Give me 1 second. Pull it up. So, Bhagavad Gita, very interesting verses. These are all extremely interesting verses. So, we'll go to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15. Why chapter 15? This is Purushottama Yoga. This is the chapter. And there it says, Urdo Moolam Atashakam. There is an imperishable banyan tree, first verse, that has its roots upwards and branches down, whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. The branches of this tree extrude upward and downward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. The tree has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. So the example that's given is that of a banyan tree. See, the banyan tree, you have the trunk that goes up and the branches that go out. But then what happens from the branches? You have roots that go down. And sometimes if you go into a banyan tree that's very, very old, it feels like you're in a maze. It's dark underneath because the canopy is so wide, and it's completely you can't understand which is a root, which is the main trunk. Everything looks all the same. So Krishna says the real form of this tree cannot be perceived in the world. No one can understand where it ends and where it begins or where its foundation is. But with determination, right? One must cut down the strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. So this is the knot that is found in the heart, and and all misgivings are cut to pieces when one hears the Bhagavatam regularly and the chain of fruitive actions is terminated. See, this is a very important point. See, we may come to devotional service, but the chain of fruitive activities are only terminated when one actually executes every action, every single action in relation to Krishna. Everything, including bodily maintenance and everything. Which means what? Actually, a devotee is not interested in personal sense gratification. And this is a controversial, it's just hard for people to accept. Because if you look, what's that verse? I'm bad with numbers, but um, yukta hara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta स्वप्नावबोधस bodhasya. 617. Okay, let's go to 617. Chapter 617. Okay. So, yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yoga bhavati dukkha. He who is regulated in the habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all pains by the practice of yoga system. So that means one has to be regulated in eating. You can't overeat, eat too less. You can't oversleep, sleep too less. You can't work too hard. You shouldn't work too less. Now, these two things are very interesting. You may think that actually Krishna is saying you should have some fun, you should have some recreation, just not too much recreation. And work also you can do, just not too much, not too little. Actually, that's not. If you look at the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he says that um, um, let's go down. As far as work is concerned, a Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not connected to Krishna's interest, and thus his work is always regulated and untainted by sense gratification. It is then, since there is no question of sense gratification, there is no material leisure for a person in Krishna consciousness. Note, no material leisure for a person in Krishna consciousness. This can be controversial because everybody says, what is wrong in a little recreation? Thoda entertainment mein se kya hoga? You know why? Or Krishna hates entertainment so much. So if you have a little entertainment here and there, Krishna is not going to accept you. That's not the point. The point is there is no question of sense gratification. The work itself is regulated only for the purpose of bodily maintenance, and anything excess is given and donated to Krishna. Means that work is donated, that time is donated, that energy is donated. We only work to maintain the body, we only work to maintain our family. This is it. Not overly working over the top, trying to make a lot of money, go up in society and this and that. And no, we are not interested in sense gratification. And because we are not interested in sense gratification, there is no question of leisure also. It's a, oh, I just let me just go and do some skydiving. But how can you connect skydiving to Krishna consciousness? Well, Prabhuji, when I jump from the sky, you know, I will be able to see the beauty of the earth. And when I see the beauty of the earth, I will think of Krishna, and in that way, I am Krishna conscious. Or when I jump from the sky, I will think of Garuda and think, oh, how wonderful it must be. I'm just saying some stupid things here. But people say dumb things like this. They think, oh, what's the problem? No, but the thing is, your force, connecting it to Krishna means that one does it for Krishna's interest. Prabhupada is saying a Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not connected to Krishna's interest, not our interest, and then say, and then somehow throw in Krishna in there and then tell Krishna, listen, I'm interested in this, so you have to also be interested in this. Because I'm calling your name, you have to accept it. Or as people, as Bhakti Vikas Maharaj says, just because you throw a plate in front of Krishna and you chant a few mantras doesn't mean that Krishna is obligated to eat it. Doesn't mean that some devotees say, they buy this bread from outside, they buy anything and everything, and then they throw it in front of a plate, they put it in front of Krishna, they shove it in front of his in front of the picture or the deity, and they chant a few mantras and they say, Krishna has taken it, this is prasadam. But Krishna, the concept of the is not there. Is Krishna interested in this? Is he obligated to take it? He's the Lord of Lakshmi. He doesn't have to take something just because we place it in front of the plate. It has to be in our accordance to Krishna's interest. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has to show mercy to us. It's not that we are merciful to him and say, oh, Krishna, here's some honey nut Cheerios. I like it so much, therefore you also should like it. You please offer this, eat this honey nut Cheerios, and now it's prasadam, and now I'll tell everybody that my Jagannath has eaten honey nut Cheerios. What's your problem? And because you are not eating it, you are offending, you are not respecting prasadam, and all this kind of nonsense. So the the devotee doesn't have that leisure, that recreation, and because of that, the chain of fruitive actions is terminated. Because fruitive actions means result interested in fruits. Why fruits? Fruit is for enjoying. We want to enjoy that fruit, we want to enjoy that pain or the pleasure that we think it will be pleasurable. But the problem is that fruitive action always results, if there is pleasure, there is pain also. If there is pain, there is pleasure also. It's a flip sides of the same coin. There is no difference. Why is it terminated? When one sees the self as master, means that he understands, I am not in control of the senses. Sorry, the senses are not in control of me. I am in control of the senses by the mercy of Krishna, because Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when I surrender unto him, I get the energy, I get the capacity, I get the mercy to be able to control my senses. And then we become, in that sense, we become the master. We are not subjected to the material energy anymore. So Srila Prabhupada makes this very important point. He says, in the presence of the sun, the darkness cannot stand. And the relative truths that were hidden within the dense darkness of ignorance become clearly manifested. See why this point is being made? Because here all misgivings are cut to pieces. So there are so many doubts, so many questions, so many things that we are confused about. The thing is, when the sun comes, means when Krishna is present within our heart, he reveals himself to the sincere devotee. Then whatever was relative truths, means these misgivings, these relative truths are not absolute truths. They are relative. In a certain circumstance, within a certain time, within a certain place, they may have some validity, but they are not universally true. And those cause misconceptions, they cause misgivings. And when we practice Krishna consciousness, or when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, which means we have to read these books of Srila Prabhupada, and we should attend classes on these things, then the misgivings become manifested. We become, oh, I thought this was correct. Now I understand this is wrong. I understand these misgivings. I can perceive the misgivings of others. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada continues, in the Bhagavad Gita 10:11, the Lord says that in order to show special favor to his pure devotees, he personally eradicates the dense darkness of all misgivings by switching on the light of pure knowledge within the heart of a devotee. Therefore, because of the personality of Godhead's taking charge of illuminating the heart of his devotee, certainly a devotee engaged in his service in transcendental love cannot remain in darkness. He comes to know everything of the absolute and relative truths. So this is an important point also, that when you become a devotee of Krishna and you become situated, engaged in transcendental love, then what happens? The devotee becomes aware of everything in the absolute and relative terms. The devotee cannot remain in darkness because the devotee is enlightened by the personality of Godhead. His knowledge is certainly perfect. This is not the case for those who speculate on the absolute truth by dint of their own limited power of approach. Perfect knowledge is called parampara, or reductive knowledge coming down from the authority to the submissive oral receiver who is bona fide by service and surrender. One cannot challenge the authority of the Supreme and know him also at the same time. He reserves the right of not being exposed to such a challenging spirit of an insignificant spark of the whole, a spark subjected to the control of illusory energy. The devotees are submissive, and therefore transcendental knowledge descends from the personality of Godhead to Brahma, and from Brahma to his sons and disciples in succession. So, this is the important point. Devotees are submissive. This process is helped by the super soul within such devotees. That is the perfect way of learning transcendental knowledge. Oh, sorry. This enlightenment perfectly enables the devotee to distinguish spirit from matter, because the knot of spirit and matter is untied by the Lord. So, this is the point, that is a very important point here, that with the enlightenment, we distinguish spirit from matter. What is spiritual? What is Krishna consciousness? Is this devotional service? Is this material? What is material consciousness? How does material consciousness work? Right now, the spirit and matter are tied up. Although we are individual spirit souls and we have nothing to do with this body, right now this soul is very attached to this body, and this knot between the spirit and matter is untied by the Lord. He lovingly unties it. This knot is called ahankar. Ahankar means false ego, and it falsely obliges a living being to become identified with matter. As soon as this knot is loosened, therefore, all the clouds of doubt are at once cleared off. One sees his master and fully engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, making a full termination of the chain of fruitive action. In material existence, a living being creates his own chain of fruitive work and enjoys the good and bad effects of those actions life after life. But as soon as he engages himself in the loving service of the Lord, he at once becomes freed from the chain of karma. His actions no longer create any reaction. Okay, any questions or comments? Any questions? If not, I can always go on to the next verse, but wanted to open it up and ask any questions or doubts. Okay, so we'll go to the next verse then. Okay, please repeat. Ato vai kavayo nityam
अतो वै कवय नित्यम्
bhaktim paramaya muda
भक्तिं परमाय मुदा
vasudeve bhagavati
वासुदेवे भगवती
kurvantyatma prasadanim.
कुर्वन्ति आत्मप्रसादनीम्.
Okay, word to word. Ataha, therefore, why? Certainly, kavaya, all transcendentalists, nityam, from time immemorial, bhaktim, service unto the Lord, paramaya, supreme, muda, with great delight, vasudeve, Sri Krishna, bhagavati, the personality of Godhead, kurvanti, do render, atma, self, prasadanim, that which enlivens. Translation, certainly, therefore, since time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, with great delight, because such devotional service is enlivening to the self. So nice verse that it says, this is how Kavayo Nityam, all the time, great transcendentalists, Bhaktim, they are engaged in bhakti, they are engaged in devotional service to Krishna. Why? Atma Prasadanim. One gets satisfaction. This Prasadanim, it's service. Sorry, this is mercy. So Prabhupada continues in the purport. The speciality of devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is specifically mentioned herein. Lord Sri Krishna is the Swayam Rupa personality of Godhead. And all the other forms of Godhead, beginning from Sri Baladev, Shankarshan, Vasudev, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, and Narayana, and extending to the Purusha avatars, Guna avatars, Leela avatars, Yuga avatars, and many other thousands of manifestations of the personality of Godhead, are Lord Sri Krishna's plenary portions and integrated parts. The living entities are separated parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Lord Sri Krishna is the original form of Godhead. He is the last word in the transcendence. Thus, he is more attractive to the higher transcendentalists who participate in the eternal pastimes of the Lord, when in forms of the personality of Godhead, other than Sri Krishna and Baladev, there is no facility for intimate personal contact, as in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord at Vrajabhumi. The transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna are not newly accepted, as argued by some less intelligent persons. His pastimes are eternal and are manifested in due course once in the day of Brahma, as the sun rises on on the eastern horizon at the end of every 24 hours. So again, wonderful purport here. Srila Prabhupada makes the point that Krishna is the source of all the different incarnations of Narayana, of Vishnu. Why is that so? He says, no, 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 no. Narayana is the source of Krishna. Why are you all saying these things? So the reason is that he is more attractive to the higher transcendentals. Okay, so he's more attractive. That may just be that people have different preferences. But the point is, in the forms of the personality Godhead, other than Sri Krishna and Baladev, there is no facility for intimate personal contact, as in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord as Vrajabhumi, at Vrajabhumi. So this is the point, that with Krishna, one can act in an intimate way. There were so many sages in the Ramayana. It is described how many sages, when they saw Lord Rama in the forest, they developed a desire to have a conjugal relationship with him. But Lord Rama said, no, no, no. You see, in this life, I have only Ekapatni Vrata, and you are all male. So, next lifetime, I will come, and at that time, you can engage with me. So, in this way, there are multiple instances of so many devotees who have tried, when they wanted to have a personal relationship with Krishna, they had to wait until Krishna appeared. They couldn't even do it in the pastime of Lord Rama. Why? Because that is the nature. That Krishna, it is said, oh, but how do you know that this makes this? He is the source. Well, here's the point. It's just like the example of somebody who lives at home. When they live at home, their relationships with their family, their relationships with their children, this makes the bulk. This is actually the center of their life. Everything else is around this. And that is them being at home is actually their real self. This is who they really are. At work they may have some kind of they may act in a certain way or whatever, but that is all temporary. That's all. But and it's all coming from that original person. So similarly, Krishna is that original person. Prabhupada said, um, what is the difference between Krishna and Narayana? Well, Narayana is Krishna at work. He's working because Narayana maintains the material world. So, sorry, something got into my eye. I don't know what's there, but um, so um, um, yeah, and then but who is Krishna? Krishna is the person at home. So Vrindavan is like being at home, and Narayana, Vaikunta, these are the forms of the Lord which are all eternal, but they are in the sense that it after Krishna the um, the speciality of Lord Krishna is the fact that one can associate with him very closely in these five different kinds of relationships, which is not available. It's not possible to become a personal friend of Krishna. It's anywhere in any of the other incarnations. Imagine Narasimha. Who can be friend of him? Nobody. You can be servant of Narasimha, like Prahlad. Friend? Narasimha? No. Same thing Varaha. No, he's Supreme Personality of Godhead. Forget all of that. And what about Narayana? Well, Narayana, he manifests himself in multiple places in the world so that in different forms so that we can worship him. And he maintains the material universe. He appears in different times, places, and circumstances to protect Indrari Vyakulam Loke, to protect the demigods or those who are saintly. So, yeah, so those are some of the points. Any questions or comments? Anything anybody has?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, it said like the worship to Krishna is like very enlivening to our soul.
Enlivening. And the word that's used, Atma Prasadanim. Krishna uses this. Prasade Sarva Dukkhanam Hanirasyopajayate. This is chapter 2
Yes, so,
also.
Prabhu, we can experience these things like in the starting, like we start our devotional life and we are chanting rounds, following the regulative principles, or is it in the advanced stage?
No, one can experience. Now also. Have you not experienced any bliss in Krishna consciousness?
Yes,
Great bliss.
Prabhu, in the starting it was very much, but
And then
like
gradually.
yeah.
So the reason Acharya has explained this also, that we have to understand that Krishna wants us to come up to higher levels. And that means that we have to purify ourselves more and more to get more of that taste. You can't, Krishna doesn't want bhakti, devotional service is not stagnant. When you came to devotional service, it was hundreds of millions of times better than what is there outside as amongst non-devotees and things like that. But once once starts practicing Krishna consciousness,
Yes, Prabhu.
then slowly Krishna wants you to come up to a higher level. It's Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. He wants to show you higher levels of ecstasy. But for that, we have to make ourselves more and more qualified. And but it is possible. In fact, the point is that actually it's not like one stage ends and then we go to the another stage. It's Have you heard of a bell curve? Do you know what a bell curve is?
No, Prabhu.
Let me pull it up. Um, okay, it's a bell curve shaped graph. So let me show this. It's a very nice. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains it like that. So do you see this?
Yes, Prabhu.
This is called a bell curve. It's like a smooth mountain, which means in the middle is where you have the max. And then the edges are tapering off. So when we practice Krishna consciousness, it's like this bell curve moving through the stages of devotional service. What does that mean? That means the stage that we are predominantly at, that is the stage that we are at. That is what it is said. Oh, he is an anartha nivritti. But it doesn't mean that when one comes to, for instance, we have bhaktas and other people, they come to Krishna consciousness and they feel a lot of bliss. And is it all false? Is it just some mental thing? No. It it's that what happens is there is still some little higher stage, because as you begin in divorce, there's a little bit of when we get that little glimpse of selfless devotional service, prema, little glimpse of what it means to be directly serving the spiritual master, and taking instructions. We get that little glimpse, and that glimpse itself is so overwhelming. But our predominant stage is here, anartha nivritti stage, or whichever stage we might be at. So the point is to eventually move this there. So that the predominating stage, or actually when you come to prema, that's the only stage. So that's the goal. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm.
And also,
Anything else?
Prabhu, we need to get more purified. So we heard like we are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and our heart is getting purified. So we also need to take some external steps to like purify our like habits and to control things.
Yeah. Oh, you're asking, do we need to?
Yes, Prabhu.
Your question is, do we need to do what?
Like to take some external steps. For example, we are chanting like Mahamantra, but we like our anger is still there, our lust is still there,
Yeah,
and
you should try to control. Obviously, it's not that one should not try to control, but the point is we understand that we will have no capacity to control if we don't chant our rounds and if we don't follow. But it's not that we don't no control, nothing, forget about everything. Let Krishna. No, no, no. We have to make the endeavor.
okay, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you, bro.
Jai. Any other questions? Okay. All right. So um, we'll stop there and we'll continue again on Thursday. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna, bro.
Yes,
Uh,
Prabhu.
Bro, you are saying that you need to discuss something about that Vaishnava etiquettes today.
Yeah, it's a good right. Um, so one thing I wanted to mention, this is a simple point, but just so devotees understand how to offer obeisances, what should be done. So the way it works is that when one comes in front of the deities, one comes in front. So whenever anybody sees Vaishnavas, it is good to offer obeisances. And the mantra that one has to chant when one offers obeisances, one has to chant a mantra. And the mantra is Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripasindubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So devotees should learn this. It's a very important verse. And whenever we see devotees, Vaishnavas, we should offer obeisances. And when we offer, we say this out loud. We say that. And um, um, why do we say this? Krishna is pleased. Krishna is pleased. Now, what's even more pleasing? See, when we come to the temple, we have to offer obeisances. How are we supposed to offer obeisances? What is the concept of what is this? So, obeisances is namaskar, or as they have different. You have dandavat, you have shashtanga, um, shashtanga, and you have and then you have panchanga. So, what is Shashtanga? What is Panchanga? It's actually a number. Panchanga refers to five. Five parts of the body are touching the floor, right? So, you have to touch the floor. Why touch the floor? Why touch the ground? It's a sign of humility. It's a sign of obedience. And of course, we should feel that way also. So you have the head, you have two hands, so you have three, then Panchanga, so five, right? So two more. Two more refer to the legs, the two legs. The legs are also on the feet, all the way from the knees down to the foot. They're on the floor. So you have five angas like that. Basically, 2 feet. That's what it means. It's 2 feet, two hands, and head. So now, what is Shashtanga? Shashtanga means head, and then you have hands, but then you also have the body. The body is touching. The entire body is touching. So this is Shashtanga Namaskar. So it is straight up. So women are not supposed to do Dandavat. They're not supposed to do Shashtanga Namaskar. Why? Because for the woman, her breasts are sacred. They are not supposed to touch the ground. A woman's breasts are never supposed to touch the ground. If a woman's breast touch the ground, Bhumi Devi becomes offended. It's an offense to Bhumi Devi because it's like making her touch the breast of somebody else. She doesn't want to do that. So the so when we offer obeisances, that's why the women they have to do Panchanga Namaskar. How should you do obeisances? When you come to Vaishnavas and to Guru, specifically sadhus and Guru, one offers obeisances straight on. One offers obeisances. Then, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, any form of Vishnu, any form of Krishna, we offer obeisances with our left towards them. Means we go in front of the deities and we turn right and we offer obeisances. That means our left is to the Supreme Lord. Why? Because that is the respect that is given to him. The respect that is given to the Supreme Lord is not given to anybody else. Oh, but for Srila Prabhupada, we do that. Yes, because Srila Prabhupada is Acharya, he is Guru. Same thing to our Guru also. We may offer with him to our left. Why? Because the Guru is Sakshad Hari. He has come, he is non-different from the personality of Godhead because he represents him. So in that sense, one can offer like that. But the general standard is that one offers to Guru straight. With Vishnu, one offers towards with one's left side. And for you all, so it would show this left side. So if we offer with our left, then for any demigods, it's to the right. So we have to offer obeisances when we for to demigods. They are all very important people, but obeisances are offered to the right. So these are and then okay. So when we come into a temple, what do we do? So as soon as we come to the temple, try to see if you can see if there's a bell, then ring it. If there is no bell, at least knock. Knock the door, knock the side. Why you have to do that? You are announcing to the Supreme Lord that you have come. This is an announcement. It's just like it's informing the Supreme Lord, it's drawing the attention of the Supreme Lord to oneself. It's a very auspicious sound to ring the bell. So that's just to kind of understand that we as soon as we enter the temple, we ring the bell. Then when we see, then we go straight to offer obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. After offering obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, we start offering to the deities. If there are 3 sets of deities, then there's one obeisances that's offered per deity, per altar, let's say. Not per deity, but per altar. So, and how do you offer obeisances with the Supreme Lord to the left? Why Supreme Lord to the left, demigods to the right? Because the respect that is offered to the Supreme Lord can never be offered to the demigods. So, and let's see. Yeah, that's kind of it. This is and when we offer obeisances, what do we say? So before we offer obeisances, we chant our Guru's pranam mantra. And then, if you know verses of glorification for that particular deity, then say it. Say you know Narasimha, then chant the Narasimha Kavacha or chant Ugravira Mahavishnu, chant that verse, something like that. But the point is that his the point is that when we come into the temple, we offer obeisances, we chant some prayer to the Supreme Lord. It's nice to know prayers to the Supreme Lord. We should know some prayers to the Supreme Lord. But if we not, at least we chant the Guru's pranam mantra, and then we chant. If you know, it's nice to know prayers. How do you know prayers? Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. So we chant Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate, the Guru's name, Swaminiti Namine, and then we chant these prayers to the deities, then we offer obeisances. So this is the general way to do it. And we have to offer obeisances to each altar. If there are 3 altars, there's Gaur Nitai, Radha Krishna, then Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, then each altar we offer obeisances. So, demigods are offered obeisances with one's right to the demigods. Same thing, when one goes to an ancient holy place or something like that, and there's a demigod temple and you may go there, then one, we don't accept any prasadam from the demigod temples. We don't take the coconuts or the bananas or the fruits or anything they may give. If they give, we may accept it, but we will not eat it. You give it away, or you give it to a cow or something like that. Because it's very clearly stated in Shastra that the demigods will not accept anything that is not offered to Vishnu. So, then what do you do? So when they give you, say, you get the deepa, the lamps, and you want, but we don't do like this, because this, whatever respect we give for the Supreme Lord Krishna, should only be reserved for Krishna. And Guru can get the same respect because Guru is representative of Krishna. But other than that, nobody will get that respect. So the Madhvas, they teach this, because we are in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So what do? We don't want to disrespect. We don't want to say no. We should not disrespect. So when the Deepa comes from the demigods or this and that, we take it and we accept it in the back of our head. We accept it, but it's not accepted in the same place where we accept Vishnu Prasadam. So that's an important point to understand. And and then to the demigods we chant the same thing, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha. If you know the prayer for any demigod in the Brahma Samhita, then you can chant. There is Durga's prayers. What is Durga's prayer in the Brahma Samhita? Shristi Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga Ichchanu Rupam Abhi Yasya Chachesha Sesa Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. What's the prayer for Lord Shiva? क्षीरम यथा दधि विकार विशेष योगा चंजायते नहि ततः पृथहस्ति हेतो यत् शंभुताम अपि तथा समुपैति कार्यात् गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. What about Ganesh? यत् पाद पल्लव युगम विनिदाय कुंभा द्वंद्वे प्रणाम समये सगनादिराजाः विघ्नन् विहंतुम गलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. These are prayers in the Brahma Samhita for Ganesh, Shiva and Durga. So we can chant these prayers because they become pleased, because these prayers are recited about them in relation to Krishna, not separately. So okay, that's a few etiquette things on how to offer obeisances and things like that. Any questions? No. Okay, all right, Jai. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
See you all on Tuesday. Sorry, Thursday. Today is Tuesday. See you all on Thursday again. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.